Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now. Baby, I took a half and she took the whole thing. Slow down, baby. We took a trip, now we on your block, and it's like a ghost town. Baby.
Working on yourself and protecting your peace takes a lot of time, dedication, and consistency, but it must be a priority. I've been working on this and making the necessary changes for a long time now, and I'm truly enjoying who I am becoming. Self-care is very important. For me, it is doing things I enjoy that bring me happiness, strength, and that better my mental health, such as taking my time on personal hygiene, journaling, planning, shopping, watching TV, listening to music and podcasts, napping, changing up my space, and blocking out all negativity and toxic energy. The title and concept behind this video was inspired by Michaela Amari, another YouTuber. When I came across her video, it really resonated with me because she spoke on a lot of things that I've been experiencing and working on. I decided to recreate it to share some moments of my life and my journey as I work on the deeper parts of myself, show myself more love, gentleness, and protect my peace. We come from all walks of life, have different experiences, and have learned to deal with things differently. But with maturing, sometimes we realize that we have to change our frame of thought and how we handle situations. A huge part of working on myself is reflection. I like to take the time out to reflect on many things, simple parts of my day, such as what I could have done differently or changed to make things run smoother. Planning is something that has been very helpful for me. I like to take my time to plan out my days, weeks, and months. See what things are that I am looking forward to, setting small goals, and following through on them. Even if I don't achieve all the things I set forth to do, I can at least hold myself accountable and make adjustments. Journaling has been very important for my healing process. It's a habit that I try to stay on top of and do as often as needed. I personally prefer prompt journaling because they are thought-provoking and get me to think on specifics while opening up my mind and heart to things that I have been pushing away and trying not to think of. It gets me to a space where I think of my childhood traumas, relationships, and friendships, what makes me who I am, experiences I feel have molded me, my life goals, and what I see for my future. Taking the time to reflect on those things can be very helpful and is necessary for growth, so it honestly can become very tense and emotional at times. I've learned that being an empath and taking on others' issues and feelings can be very damaging and traumatic due to harboring in everyone else's stuff on top of your own. Setting boundaries has been crucial to my mental health and protecting my peace because I'm no longer stressing or getting frustrated over other people's problems that I have no control over. We can't always be the strong friend or family member, especially when we have our own things that we have to deal with. Protecting your peace means knowing what is good and bad for you and knowing how to step away from the bad. We have to get to a place where we are no longer acknowledging things that are not for us, as well as not igniting our energy towards things that are out of our control. Throughout this journey, I've learned to do things on my own and not wait for others. I was withholding myself from experiencing new things because of the fear of doing it alone. I have found so much happiness and gratitude in my own company. I decided to start recording this video and planning it out. I wanted to be able to answer some questions about self-care, about protecting your peace, working on yourself, all of that. So I asked on YouTube, and then I also ask on my Instagram stories. So this is the Q&A part of this video. I'm just gonna go down my list, and I actually have all of my notes here. My first question was, how do you protect your peace? And I kind of touched on that in the video. Protecting my peace is just knowing, the very first step is knowing what suits you, like what is right for you, what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, and what doesn't. So when something isn't bringing you joy, happiness, and it's really bringing you down, no matter what the situation is, then you need to start protecting your peace. You need to make changes to cut those things out of your life, whether they're people, whether they're things, whatever, situationships, they need to be cut out. So I believe that that is the very first step of protecting your peace. And then everyone's journey is very different. So it just depends on what it is that you want next, what you see for yourself. So protecting your peace is also taking a deep dive within yourself and wanting to figure out your needs, your wants, and what you're going to do to get to that point in your life that your peace is completely protected. So for myself, what keeps me motivated is knowing my worth, knowing what I can bring to the table in a situation, in a friendship, and what a relationship, whatever the case may be. So once you're at that place in your life that you know what you want and need and you're working towards it, you're going to do whatever it takes to keep having that positive energy in your life. So what's your number one non-negotiable for peace and self-care? And when I read that question, it took me back to Michaela's video, and I like when she said that she hasn't been wanting to talk. And I felt that like on a whole different level. I felt that 100%. I've been feeling that same way for a very long time. Like I just want to surround myself around positive energy, positive people, positive situations. And if a situation arises that I don't want to feed into, I'm not going to force myself because I feel bad, or, you know, always wanting to be that good friend, that listening friend. So I would say that would be my non-negotiable, is when it comes to talking, if I don't want to talk, I ain't gonna talk. Don't force what isn't there. So another question I got that I really liked was, how do you schedule your life to make sure you have time for self-care? So what I do is, if there are things that I have to actually schedule, let's say like maintenance appointments, so my nails, my waxes, whether it's like a facial or a spa date, whatever it is that you want, schedule it at a time that you know will work for yourself, for your family, and your dynamics, and stick to it no matter what comes up, and not rescheduling those things because, you know, something else needs to happen because somebody's asking for your time or for your attention with something. So scheduling those things and staying consistent with sticking to the appointments that you have scheduled. And then at home, I just find the right time for those little things. So like doing a face mask or a foot mask. I'll do it when I know, okay, we're about to sit down and watch TV for an hour. We're going to catch up on an episode. This will be the good time to do that. Things like that, just thinking ahead of your day and your family, again, your family dynamics, and figuring out when is the best time that I can do these things so that I don't feel like I'm forcing it upon myself, or like I have to like rush through it. Do it when you know is a good time to like take your time, be at ease, be calm. So that's how I work around things. And every day can be different, every situation varies, but that's how I go about scheduling things. When something is definitely scheduled, I stick to that. And this one is, how are you able to find inner peace, and how do you cope with stressful situations? How am I able to find inner peace? So learning when things are right or wrong for me, taking the time to like sit back, reflect on it, think about the situation, that brings me peace, knowing that I didn't let the situation continue on, that I, you know, put my foot down for myself, and I'm just like, you know what, this is something that I need to evaluate. So that brings me peace itself. And depending on whatever the situation may be, it may not be the hardest to, you know, figure out or work through, but eventually it will bring you peace knowing that you did something for yourself. Coping with stressful situations, in the past, I know I've tended to like want to talk about it. So whether it's with that person or with my therapist, talking about situations, just letting it out You don't necessarily have to talk about it, like physically talk, but you can like journal it out. That's a good way to deal, to cope with things. And just learning and realizing that we just don't have control over everything. We can't be in control of everything, and realizing that, we do have to let some things be. So this next question, I never really gave it too much thought. So I was able like to sit and reflect on it a bit. And it's, how do you pick your friends? It's really based off of like energies, who I feel like I connect with and am able to relate to. And I don't have a lot of friends. I would say I have like a lot of associates, people that I know and talk to and I'm cool with. But to be a friend, like, we have to like be close and actually just connect on like different types of things on different levels. So that's actually a really good question. As a content creator, I always feel like I'm doubting myself or comparing my content to others. How do you deal with those feelings, and what do you do to uplift yourself? So as a content creator, it can be hard because we do have phases or moments that we compare ourselves, and I feel like that's natural. As a content creator, you see so many awesome things and you're just like, wow, like people are just so dynamic, so diverse and creative. It's incredible. But I find myself comparing a lot, and I don't take it in a negative way. I try to turn that into a positive, like, wow, this person was really able to inspire me. Like I like what they're doing. I like what they're bringing. How can I take that and maybe remix it and make it my own? And acknowledge them, say, hey, like, I love the way you did this. You're inspiring. You've inspired me to want to do something similar. To uplift myself is more so, I would just say, I remind myself that I'm capable and I'm able to do those things as well. I remind myself that I just need to put in the work, just like they've done. It doesn't come overnight. It doesn't come easy. But I am able to, excel and do things that other people are doing as well. What steps do you take when resolving conflict? I hate being in conflicts. But steps that I take are, you really have to consider and be thoughtful of who the person is, what the situation is that occurred. There have been times that I've like jumped at things and didn't really think about it. So right now, in the space that I'm in, to resolve a conflict, first I would say I take my time to like think it through. It's important that we, look at situations from different angles, different ways, think it through, and have an idea of what it is that I want to change from that situation. What are your thoughts on bad energy? My thoughts on bad energy are that they are real. If I sense bad energy, I'm just gonna, take myself out of the equation. That's it. Just you don't have to be in it. You can, definitely remove yourself, change the situation up. It's just our choices on how we decide to go about things. But if you feel bad energy around you, just remove yourself. How do you protect your peace and create healthy boundaries? So, again, protecting your peace is about knowing what is right and what's wrong for you. And having boundaries is just knowing you have to set the boundaries first. And it can be hard. It can be very hard. And I've had my troubles with it. Is you want to be there, you want to continue to be that good person, friend, family member, listener, but there are times that there are situations that you're triggered by, that I've been triggered by, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm sorry, I have to step back from this. Be consistent with your boundaries. That's the biggest thing. Is like, how do you deal with negative comments on social media? I don't really get many negative comments, but when I do, I just block them. I don't feed into it. I don't let it bother me. I have before. I'm not going to lie. I have. But when you're putting your life, yourself out there on social media, people say all types of crazy things and have different viewpoints. But just, you have to have thick skin, and you have to know that whatever those people say doesn't define you. That's their perception, their thoughts on things doesn't mean that is you. So just don't take it seriously and delete and block. Those two buttons are best friends when it comes to social media and putting ourselves out there. If you are getting negative or hate comments, don't feed into it. Don't let it get the best of you. Just delete, block, and go. that is the end of the Q&A part of this video. Thank you all so much for tuning in to my day 144 of ghosting everyone and working on myself, protecting my peace. I want to say thank you so much for tuning into this video. This was definitely very different. Again, this video was inspired by Michaela Amari, and I'm glad that I came across her video because it's just things that have been heavy on my heart, things that I've been thinking about, going through experiences, and it was just a nice way to put it together. So I want to say thank you again, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one.
Whoa, whoa, yeah. Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but I guess you know.